West Ham are going mad. West Ham are blowing bubbles. West Ham are trying to make a mega purchase in Jhon Durán from Aston Villa for 57 million, which has been rejected because Aston Villa wants 70 million plus or upwards to 70 million. Other breaking news, Carlo Ancelotti is leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season. Now, Arsenal, would you make a move, or should I say Arsenal fans, would you like Arsenal to make a move for Carlo Ancelotti and replace him at the end of the season in front of Mikel Arteta? I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. If you're new to the show, like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss shows every time we upload. Let's get into this show. Before we get on to Jhon Durán, before we get on to Carlo Ancelotti, Benjamin Šeško, this story is getting old. It's getting boring. It's getting tired. Now, all of a sudden, he can leave at 67 million. In the summer, that was a kind of figure that we was talking about anyway, but it didn't happen because Sesko wanted to stay at IB Leipzig to pursue his career in a sense of have another season under his belt where he's not going to be a number two behind a Kai Havertz and a Jesus and be the starting striker, get more minutes in his legs, get more understanding about the game and pursue a move for this forthcoming summer 2025. But Arsenal are in a pickle. They need to get a striker. I think these are just stories by people just making the stories up just to put something out there to make it look like they are in the know. Well, I'm in the know that Arsenal are not going to sign anyone this January transfer window. They're going to come up with excuses. They really are. They're going to say they tried, they looked, but there was no deals possible. They went for loan moves. There was no deals possible because January is a tough month. And they'll just look at it and say, we couldn't get anyone. I think we can go with what we've got. We can maybe use some reserve guys. We can maybe get a Reece Nelson back because that's another story that's coming out today. But Arsenal are not going to sign anyone this January transfer window, and it's all going to kick off. Let's move on because those stories are getting boring and old. Jhon Durán, 57 million. West Ham made a bid, got rejected. Aston Villa won upwards of 70 million pounds. That's a lot of money for someone who doesn't score a lot of goals. But when he does score, it does make some sort of an impact. In all of the last two seasons, it's just about 11, 12 goals in total in over, nearly 40 games. And I'm not even joking. Like, it's not a great return for this player. So far in the Premier League, he scored 7 goals. Last season, it was 5 goals in the Premier League. But when he does score, it looks like it's a bit more of a grace because he doesn't start many games. He starts 3 and 4 games, and that's about it. He's not your typical starter. But Arsenal fans were saying, you know what? We should go for a guy like that. He's proven in the Premier League. Now, I'm not being funny, but the stats I just read out to you, how the hell is that proven? It's proven that he's a sub. It's proven that he's got a hot temper. We know he's got a hot temper. It's proven that this guy maybe a leading star for someone of a West Ham, a Brighton, and Manchester United, may I add. Now, I'm not even taking a mick out of Manchester United, but Jhon Durán would be better in Manchester United than he would be in West Ham. But West Ham have the cojones, and to make a bid of 57 million, that is just an opening offer. They knew that bid was going to get rejected. I think a deal of maybe a 65 million would be enough to get a Jhon Durán, but I wouldn't spend 70 million on him. I wouldn't even spend the 65 million, but it's not my money. This is down to West Ham and Graham Potter to try and get this deal done. If it happens, well done, West Ham. You're blowing bubbles. You got a half-decent striker there, and he may do some business. He's quick. He's mobile. He's not afraid to shoot. And that's the sort of maybe player that West Ham need. And that's why Aston Villa went out and got a Donnell Marlin from Borussia Dortmund for the cheap fee of 20-odd million. Now, Mane's not going to be your be-all out there striker. No, he's not. The one-time Arsenal academy player, has made it in life. He went abroad, he done his thing, and now he's back in the Premier League to prove himself. But he'll sit on the bench behind an Ollie Watkins, and this will work for Aston Villa because they will sell Jhon Durán. They can cash in on him and make a good amount of profit on him for what they bought him for. But the question is it going to happen this season or is it going to happen in the summer transfer window? So we have to wait and see. We've got until next week for this deal to actually get ironed out properly. More bids will come in. The personal terms is not going to be a problem at all whatsoever whatsoever on both parties. So I see that deal getting done, but for how much remains to be seen. Moving on, Carlo Ancelotti leaving Real Madrid. At the end of the season, he's decided he's going to take a break and forget about it. He's been at Real Madrid before. He's gone back again. But this season, it just hasn't worked out. They are rubbish this season. They're not afraid. They're not a team to be afraid of to go and play. They're struggling. They got whooped by Barcelona, as we know, 5-2. They got torn apart. They've got Bellingham. They've got Mbappe. They've got Vinicius Jr. They've got Rodrigo. They've got Valverde. They've got a plethora of players at their disposal. And the great Carlo Ancelotti just can't get it working. Is this the manager that Arsenal fans would like to have and replace him with Mikel Arteta? A lot of the people will say yes. I would say nah, not really, because if you can't make it work with these superstars, what the hell are you going to do with the scrubs that are at Arsenal? Okay, that was a bit harsh, but there's no scrubs at, well, there's a couple of scrubs at Arsenal. But you see my point? If you're going to struggle at Real Madrid, I think you're going to struggle at Arsenal. Because when you got the word of your oyster, and Carlo Ancelotti is not a guy who's going to come in and mold players and make them better. Far from it. Far from it. He can't make this Real Madrid team better. So how's he going to make Arsenal better? That's my little take to you. But what's your views on what I just said? Would Carlo Ancelotti be a good manager at Arsenal? Let me know in the comments. Would Jhon Durán be a good signing at West Ham from Aston Villa? Let me know in the comments. Benjamin Šeško, are you sick of this story? Let me know in the comments of what you think of all the 3 stories that I just broke just now. Doesn't have to be a big show today. It's just what's breaking now. But I'm bored of the Arsenal stories because they're not going to sign anyone this January transfer window. It'll be the same old BS. West Ham are blowing bubbles. They will get Jhon Durán, no doubt about it. By the weekend or even deadline day, they'll get that deal done. And Carlo Ancelotti is now a free man in a sense of walking away from Real Madrid yet again. Stepping down, he's going to be out there. He may take a job in Saudi. He may just retire. Who knows? But you guys have been great. Thank you for watching the show today. And I hope to see you again real soon for the next updated show.